Good morning, guys. How you doing? It's Mike back again with the thought of the day on April 24th, 2023. First, I want to give honor and praise to the Elohim of Israel for waking me up today and giving me the strength and the wisdom to bring you this message. And I would like to open up with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Today's topic I'm going to talk about is, it is said that the only thing worse than an alcoholic is being married to an alcoholic. The only thing worse than being an alcoholic is being married to an alcoholic. Now, I like to be real in my videos and bring it from a perspective of my experience. And I remember being in a meeting one time and I heard a guy say, when he was in his addiction of alcoholism, he really thought his wife was the only person that was married. And I laughed at first, and then it hit me and said, wow, you were the same way. And thinking about both of the marriages that I had before, when I was in my addiction, that rings true. And sometimes I was so caught up in the addiction that I didn't even realize that I had different standards for them that I didn't even hold up for myself. Of course, I didn't want them to be cheating and frolicking and really trying to get at other people, but I basically did what I wanted to do, that I felt that it was okay for me to do. See, your pride and your ego will tell you when you're in that addiction that as long as I'm paying the bills and I'm able to provide for you and take you on trips and buy you what you want, then you just sit right here and then I run out and do what I want to do. That's why most of the time you'll hear a person in that position say, I pay the bills, I do this, don't worry about how much I drink or how much I use. That's a clear-cut sign of addiction and alcoholism. So you have different standards and expectations for your mate and even for yourself that are unreachable and unattainable. And that brings a lot of problems to the relationship, and you don't really know that because you're so caught up in yourself and you're so caught up in your addiction. The next thing you have is the neglect that I brought to my spouses because of me wanting to go drink and wanting to go do other things. And a lot of times the disease causes isolation. And when you isolate like that, you're not being present, you're not being a part of the family, you're not being part of the relationship. But we don't really understand that because we think in our heads the only person we hurting when we drink is ourselves, which is not true because everybody else in the household is affected by you drinking like this. Then that leads to the selfishness and self-centeredness, because the first thing I thought about when I woke up in the morning was, how was I going to make myself feel good, instead of what can I bring to society, who can I help, and how can I help my spouse. That wasn't my attitude. I thought about, what can I do for me to feel good. And then it brings to depression, and it's interesting because the depression part is, you try to tell yourself, I'm drinking because I'm depressed, but it might turns out that you're depressed because you're drinking. And that's the circle that I was on. I used the alcohol to try to deal with the depression, but then I was depressed even more when I was drinking. So then I felt like that more drinking would help me, but more drinking just took me deeper into depression. That this whole cycle makes it hard on the spouse that's not in that state, that's a non-alcoholic, and they got to deal with your constant mood swings and the ups and downs, the things that you've been going through when you're dealing with this addiction. And it could cause wear and tear on a relationship. I can imagine spouses are getting frustrated with dealing with things. And don't get me wrong, this is just not a disease that most men deal with. I mean, a lot of men deal with. A lot of women have alcoholism issues also, and it's the husband that has to deal with the same thing. You try to pray for that person to stop, but Only thing could stop them is them really wanting to stop on their own and get help. That's the only thing that's gonna slow them down. No matter what you do or what you say, nothing is gonna stop them. So I had to understand that how much people are hurt. That's why I had to make amends to both of the wives that I had before because of my behavior and things that I did while I was under the addiction. And hopefully they forgive me. My first wife has passed on. My second one says she forgave me. And I just had to learn from that situation and move on. This is Brother Mike, and I hope you enjoyed this message and understand if you're in this addiction of alcoholism or drug addiction, that you're hurting more than just yourself. Peace. Shalom. Enjoy your day.